Hey guys, Brandon Willem with CCM Magazine. Today we are hanging out with a guy that you may know from Switchfoot, but at least these next couple weeks, we're going to need you to know him as just Jon Foreman because he's got a new album coming out, In Bloom, going to be out on May 31st. How pumped are you about this release, my man?
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, this is it's just been a beautiful process. Ironic the way it's gone down, but it's been wonderful.
We've got teased a little bit by a couple of the songs that'll be on the album, but what should people expect when this full album hits all these streaming services?
Unironically groovy. I feel like this is a album that is perfect for spring and summer and celebrating the the beauty of the moment rather than chasing something else.
It sounds like I dressed appropriately to talk about an album like that today.
You look psychedelic, man. It looks amazing. That shirt is incredible.
Where's the title In Bloom? Where's it come from?
So, I think many times I think of the metaphor of what human existence is. Are we similar to computer processors? Are we similar to a city? What does it mean to be human? And lately, the best metaphor that I can come up with is the garden and the idea that um, we are, we're changing, we're growing, we're learning, we're becoming, and many times, I think especially the last couple of years, there's been a lot of loss and a lot of things that I've had to bury, expectations, different friendships and things that feel really hard to lose, And for me, this is an album that is recognizing that the pain and the things that we go through that are the hardest often are the things that bring life. That tomorrow's blooms often come from the pain and crap that becomes a fertilizer for what we become. So that's kind of what this record is born of.
Were all these songs written in these past couple of years since the last release, or did you pull some out from the archives to finish up for this one?
No, I mean I was actually hoping to write a different record. The last album was called Departures, and I was aiming for a record called Arrivals. And I had a lot of the songs ready, and they kept getting further and further away. And it felt like the songs that were coming to me were of a different nature than the ones I wanted. And finally, my brother pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, um, you did make a great album. It's just not the one you wanted to make. So you should let it go and release the one you made because it's beautiful and that's the one I want to hear." So that's what this album is. It's not the album I was aiming for, but I really am proud and thankful that these songs came to me nonetheless.
So is there a shot here in a few years we still hear the Arrivals album, or is it just kind of scrapped?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. The phrase came to me, death is the only arrival. And that every other arrival is transient and temporary. So yeah, maybe it's something I have to let go, which letting go of something is really hard for me. So I'm still not there yet.
Yeah. You invest a lot of time into those songs. You can't just let them go that easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we talk today, you're wrapping up the final dates of the Tear Off the Roof tour with Brandon Lake. Have you got to test out some of these new tracks out there on this run?
Yeah, both of the songs that are out, In Bloom and I Propose a Toast, have both been road tested and they've gone over really well. Uh it's been great. I feel like what a gift to be able to play new songs for people, that want to hear them. So I don't take that lightly.
We look at your calendars for the summer. They're pretty busy, but they're pretty heavy on one side. Switchfoot going to be out there touring a lot this year. Will there be other dates you work in at some of those off date gaps, or is the kind of solo dates happening right now and that's all we're going to get this summer?
Yeah, Switchfoot is my day job, and so I I'm not sure how many more solo shows I'm going to do. I'm doing the full album at the Belly Up, which is down the street from where I live, and then gonna kind of play it by ear. I really hope that I do get a chance to tour this album proper because I love these songs, and I every time I play them live, I think that that's kind of how they deserve to be heard.
Yeah. When you get into these seasons of life where you start preparing to write a solo album, is that planned or is it just kind of where you're at in the writing in your mind at that time? You write something and you think this is going to work better on a solo album than a Switchfoot album, or how does that happen in these seasons that you go through?
That's a great question. Um, it is, and as proven by this album in particular, a lot of it is unplanned. Like it's not, or it's me aiming for one thing and something else happening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm at a phase of life where I want to be present to those moments more and more, maybe it's having kids, maybe it's uh, just kind of being present to the idea that life is passing so quickly. I want to be available to the beauty of the moment rather than resenting it and chasing something else. So as I'm writing songs, many times I'm not exactly sure what I'm writing at the time. I'm just kind of chasing the beauty of it.
Over these years, you've had a lot of these times where you have to do promo for albums, both in secular and Christian crowds. How's things changed in these final weeks leading up to an album than what it was 10 and 20 years ago when all these happened?
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, wow, so much has changed, right? But yeah, in some ways, nothing has changed. I just did an interview with ABC right before you, and then so it's. I think the perspective I had back when I was a kid is unchanged in that people are people, and um, Sunday morning, who do you find in church but hurting people looking for meaning? Saturday night in the bar the night before, who do you find there but hurting people looking for meaning? We're all looking for purpose and truth, and I think music is one of the last few things that can actually speak in places where preconceptions have already been formed, and music is a place that can expand our worlds, and so I love the idea that I get to play in that sandbox, and music has been that thing for me that has been the scaffolding for my soul to get to places I couldn't get any other way.
Yeah.
So what an honor to be that for somebody else.
Now you got to worry a little bit less about radio play and more playlist position these days.
Yeah, even that. I mean, the whole thing is just it is a strange world to live in.
Yep. So out of these 12 tracks, when we get it on In Bloom, which one are you ready for people to hear that they haven't heard yet that may surprise them a little bit?
The most surprising one might be Sojourn, uh, which ends the record. The yeah, there's a lot of songs on this album that I mean I'm very biased, but yeah, these are songs that I feel like are there. You can listen to them at various levels. You could just put them on the background while you have some friends over, or you can truly dive in and there's layers of meaning, especially with the lyrics. I really am proud of the way the lyrics came out.
Yeah, you're going to have to put these on in the background in a few weeks because you got to remember Switchfoot lyrics again instead of your personal lyrics, Jon
That's
Foreman
right.
lyrics. Not
That's
that those
right.
aren't personal too. In Bloom going to be out there everywhere. May 31st. A few of the tracks are out there for you to preview on all the streaming services and his socials. Good hanging with you today, Jon.
Yeah, thank you for your time and take care of that shirt. That
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
if it falls into the wrong hands, we're doomed.